Hey everyone, hope all's going well. So I spent most of yesterday watching the Georgia hearings on the election, and it didn't fail to surprise. I want to just touch on some of the high points, and then you make the decision. It started off with this lawyer who has filed a lawsuit there to throw out the election, stating some of the people that voted. 2,500 felons illegally voted in this election. 66,000 underage kids registered to vote. Now, he didn't say whether they voted or not, so I'm not sure about that. But in Georgia law, you have to be 17 and a half to register to vote. 66,000 registered to vote before they became 17 and a half. 2,500 weren't even registered. How do you vote when you're not even registered? I don't know. Over 1,000 legally registered using a P.O. box, and 10,000 people who were dead voted. Now, Biden's margin in Georgia is roughly about 12,500, give or take. I mean, you know, and and another interesting was 15,000 had filed a national change of address. That means they moved from Georgia to another state. And 40,000 had filed a change of address moving across county lines, which means they have to register in their new county, and their vote is illegal. Now, some of that may be bad for Trump, some of it may be bad for Biden. I don't know about that part. But I would say that the 10,000 dead people who voted probably went very, very strongly for Biden. So then it moved into this video. And a couple things are important to get here because they're trying to debunk it already. They at the center where they were counting State Farm Arena, I believe it's called, where they were counting the ballots of the military and absentee. The Republicans in the media and that were roped off quite a distance away where they couldn't see anything. I mean, they could see some things, but you weren't going to be able to check a ballot in that. Well, about 10:30 at night or so, the supervisor goes over to them and says, "Everybody go home. We're done counting for tonight. We'll be back at 8:30 in the morning." That's them being roped off, and we're done counting for tonight. We'll be back at 8:30 in the morning. And there are two important things to remember. So everybody filters out except 4 people. They dilly around for a little while until they're sure everybody's gone. This video just came out the night before, by the way. So nobody had seen this video before. This is the first time. And it's normal State Farm Arena's security cameras. So they're not any special security cameras set up for the election or anything like that. So by about 11 o'clock, everybody's gone except these 4 people, and there's a guy that floats in and out too. I'm not sure about him, but they go, and from under this table with this black tablecloth around it, they pull out 4 suitcases, rollers, of ballots, and they start to count them, and they count them till like 12:55. The Republicans, when they left, they went down to some center, And then right around 1 o'clock, they learned that they were still up there counting, even though they'd been told they're done counting for the night. So they went back up there. They just missed them. Security confirmed, yeah, they just left. And they got there approximately 1 o'clock. Now, at first, this Democratic female senator made a fool of herself. She started off, this has been debunked weeks ago by Secretary of State, blah, blah, blah. You know, animate, this has been debunked, this has been debunked. And they said nobody's seen this video until last night. They were up till like 3 in the morning trying to break down this video that they must have just subpoenaed from State Farm Marina. I'm not sure how they got it. And now how they're trying to debunk it is no, it's just a misunderstanding. She told the envelope, I guess there's envelope cutters, and there are people that feed the ballots in to the machines and that type of thing. She just was telling the envelope cutters to go home because they were done for the night. No. These people were roped off. She walked over to them. The envelope cutters are inside the rope. She doesn't need to go up to the rope and tell these people, the media and the GOP watchers, to leave. And her words were, we're done counting for tonight. We'll be back at 8:30 in the morning. So that little debunk doesn't fly either. And they didn't have a lot of time to break down this video. But what they did, they did try and see if there were any other ballots in these rolling cases underneath tables. And they couldn't find any. And, of course, it's funny. I guess Atlanta's local news is just as crooked as our national media. They show just talking about this. And, of course, they show the senator saying, this has been debunked weeks ago. But they don't say that nobody's even seen this video weeks ago. It wasn't seen until the night before. And this is the first time it had been presented. So anyway, that's interesting enough. Then Rudy took over, and they did a Zoom call with a guy that owns a cybersecurity firm in Dallas. I guess it must be a pretty high-level firm. He mentioned he's got a lot of people from three-letter agencies, a lot of ex-military. And he made some interesting points. Number one was 96,000 mail-in votes were never received but were counted. And I guess it's really easy to follow the train of the mail-in. You'll get when it was requested, the name, the address, when it was sent out, and when it was received. Well, 96,000 of these ballots were never received, but they were still counted. Strange. Very strange. Dominion counts Biden votes 78% versus other machines at 46%. Now, some of that I think is built into the system because Domain has, like Atlanta, Vegas, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, some of the larger cities. I don't know like about New York or anything like that, but so I think you would expect Biden to get a little higher percentage. But overall, across the nation, what they found is Dominion favored, Biden outperformed about 5% on Dominion machines versus others. If you extrapolate that out to Georgia alone, that means that 120 to 130,000 votes went to Biden. And this was interesting too. Out of the ballots received, thousands of them were counted before they were received. And many, many more were counted the exact same day. And many, many more was sent out like on a Tuesday. So the Secretary of State would send you your ballot on Tuesday. And by Wednesday, you already had the ballot filled out and back to them, and they had already counted it. Our post office is pretty good, but I didn't know they were that good. So a lot of interesting stuff. I think, they know that these people did this, like these felons and underage and not registered, deceased. I think with the deceased, I think you're going to have some that may have voted early and then died. But that number is going to be minuscule. It sure isn't going to be a big portion of this 10,000. I don't know why we can't go. If we know that 2,500 felons voted, then we got to know who the 2,500 felons are, right? I mean, if we know that 2,500 weren't registered, we got to know who they are. And we got to know who the dead people are. So, when you start breaking all this down, I suspect if these votes went for Biden, which I do suspect they did, then Biden's lead's going to dwindle down quite quickly. So I don't know why we just can't go in and invalidate these votes. And these 96,000 votes that were counted but not received, we got to know who they are too, right? I don't know. I don't know. I think at the very least it's enough to invalidate the election. But we'll have to see what goes on from there. All right, thank you all. Have a good day.